but for more from the sentiment from the streets of London, we're joined by I-24 News London correspondent Jonathan Sacerdoti. Good evening, Jonathan.
Good evening, Marav.
Polls are showing a swing towards the Remain, even though it's a very slight swing. What's the feeling on the street in this final stretch?
Well, campaigning has resumed again after the death of Joe Cox MP, and David Cameron right now is speaking on the BBC in a live question time debate where members of the public are getting to ask him questions. So it's a good opportunity to see just what questions are on their minds. And as expected, they're being tough with the Prime Minister, who is, of course, campaigning to remain within the EU, asking about how he's relying on economists for their support when they have failed to get things right in the past, asking about how he is so sure about immigration when the government failed to meet its immigration targets, and asking generally how he can stay in position as Prime Minister should Britain choose to leave, having supported so fiercely the Remain camp.
And Jonathan, are people talking about the day after, regardless of which side wins, and have preparations been made?
Indeed they are, and that was a question put to the Prime Minister just a few moments ago live on TV. He insists, of course, that there are plans and that he will listen, he promised again, to the choice of the British public in this referendum. He said that he stood for election in the last general election based on the idea that he would try to renegotiate with Europe, which he says he did, and based on the idea that he would hold a referendum for the British public to stay in or out, which he is doing right now. So he says he's the right man to take things forwards, even if he loses in this Brexit referendum, and has to be the man in charge of seeing Britain leave the EU.
Jonathan Sacerdoti joining us from London. Thank you very much.